Welcome to part two. We're just waiting for James to join us from Salford. He's originally from Essex. Women love him, men want to nick his remapped wheelchair. James likes to be a bit controversial and stick it to me, don't you, James? He likes to get on my nerves every now and then. It creates a bit of interest in your views, doesn't it, James?
Well, I think that people, because even if I do say so myself, I think people like the fact that I've got my own opinion as well. You
Yeah,
know?
that's it. Good man. Right.
Yeah.
Go on. You were saying about Amir Khan and fucking,
I was just, I was just saying, what makes that a disgrace itself is because a couple of weeks ago, months ago, spinning the narrative, oh, 50-50 fights, we don't have to worry about, mismatches,
I
and
can't see that happening, me. I think what it is, they're just putting it out there to test everybody, aren't they? See what the
yeah, but
reaction is. Who's going to want to see that? Who's going to want to see Manny Pacquiao against Amir Khan?
who wouldn't? I mean, well, it's even worse, really, and it's worse than Kelbrook and Khan, but who really wanted to see that? I might sound ridiculous, but if you're a hardcore, was you really interested in that fight?
No.
If no, if you was, there's something wrong with you. Um, I just think boxing's it's name value, isn't it? And like I keep saying, name value, sentimentality, and all that should not prevail when you're losing brain cells. You know what I mean? It's all right going, oh yeah, I can look back on these big nights. I shared the ring with Manny Pacquiao, but then next minute you're eating your tea for a straw because you're dribbling all over the place.
Manny
Why?
Pacquiao is 47 this year.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, they, they were talking about him for Conor Ben, weren't they? They were talking about him
Well,
for
we've got
Conor
a
Ben, and
47-year-old against a 38-year-old.
hmm,
Is that where we're at now? Pay-per-view on the zone.
apparently so.
Well, that says
Um,
August 25. I don't think it'll happen. I remember them ones doing rounds of Ricky Hatton and Robin Reed. That didn't happen. And look, I remember
yeah.
Bricktop announcing uh, Nathan Cleverly against Hopkins. And do you remember when he did the Chisora versus Wilder and Wilder weren't even at presser?
I know.
You remember
Well,
when Bricktop did that? And then when he got
yeah,
told about it by Colin Hart, he went, "Oh, it's in talks." So people were like, "Well, what's the oppressor here for?
yeah.
Is that just to did some well a lot of people putting a lot of money into Box Nation and they needed to see some sort of at least a bit of noise.
Hmm.
That's what that looked like to me.
Yeah, pretty much. Someone who could have a row at a press conference. Yeah.
Yeah, and create a bit of hype. And because when it come down to it, when Dan Raphael and them got in touch with Wilder, they were like, I've never heard of this. What are they going on about?
Yeah, I know. I
And
know.
Bricktop were like, oh, well, we were definitely in talks. Well, why were you doing a presser with Chisora versus Wilder? And Wilder didn't know about it.
The
Like the
funniest,
Cleverly Hopkins one, then Hopkins didn't know anything about it.
I know, yeah. I
No,
think
I don't
the
buy
funniest,
into this Amir Khan bullshit, mate. I don't buy into it.
no. Well, I mean, things have got to be seen to be believed a lot of the time, but it would seem unbelievable. The most unbelievable thing, of course, is the fact that this month, Frank Warren, who used to belittle, Greg Top used to belittle Eddie Hills all the time, didn't he, for fighting on an app? And now they're sat on Talksport, you know, playing with each other. It's bloody ridiculous. Soon as Turkey withdrew the funds, they're uh, they're playing nice now, aren't they? Because they've got to. They need each other, don't they? They need to coexist in order
No.
to
Like I said
do.
earlier, James, right? Like I said earlier to you, they're holding Anthony Joshua up as the saviour, but his last world title win was 2020, defending his belt. He won off Ruiz, the three belts,
Mhm.
the IBF, IBO, and the WBO. He didn't have the WBA and he didn't have the WBC, but he defended them three against Pulev and won. That was his last world title win since then in 20. He's been finished. But before that Pulev thing, he had them two
Mm.
stinkers with Ruiz, didn't he? And
Yep,
he had two stinkers with Parker and Povetkin, and Takam was a stinker as well. Klitschko,
yep.
life and death. Eric Molina, Brazil. Charlie Martin was stinkers, and Dylan White one was just fucking all IFL bullshit.
Yeah, of
I
course
mean,
it was.
it's not even been a proper career. It's been a career where it's been a career of show and tell. They've been telling us everything that's great about him, and he's this and that, and he's the new Ali, but they've showed us nothing.
I'll tell you what it's been. It's been the career of an athlete as opposed to the career of a boxer. They have, they would have seen in the gym. There's been stories, isn't there? Everyone's put Joshua on his arse. Everyone's put Joshua in some sort of coma or some sort of state in sparring, right? But that's the
Well,
difference
David
between,
Price did. Macaulay did. Sorry, not Macaulay. David Price, Lawrence Okolie, and John Coffey. They
yeah,
all but poleaxed him, didn't they? Basically.
hmm yeah,
So
because he's not a natural fighter. Like he's a superb athlete. He's a
yeah,
good sprinter as well by the looks of him.
yeah.
But you can't. A natural born fighter is literally that. It's a natural thing. Whereas Joshua's been manufactured. Like he shouldn't have been Olympic gold medalist. He lost that final, but it was in London. It was like Estelle Mosley and Tony Yoka. They were never ever not going to be gold medalists. The corruption reigns, and they look at an opportunity, don't they? And they go, "Oh, hang on a minute, London lad, in London, heavyweight. He's got to win." Do you know what I mean? So from the very beginning, the pound signs were in the eyes of Hills, and they needed to protect him at all costs. And it's just not stopped because I think we've discussed it before, haven't we? Hills will be out of the game. I think when Joshua leaves the building, because what's the point? I don't think he's got any real fight in him for this Turkey thing.
No.
No,
Okay. Okay. Let's power through now here because you can rabbit for England. You're not going to get done.
I know
Does
Chasm Bay.
Chis- they finished.
Yep,
Right. Does Chisora versus Dubois sell out Wembley? Yes or no?
no,
Right. Well, Derek Chisora says he sells Wembley out with Dubois, but then again, Jamie McDonald told Dennis he could sell Donny Rovers ground out with fighting that guy he fought for world title, and they didn't. They didn't even do 1,000 tickets.
no. Well, there you go.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
what? Right. Okay. Del Boy says it sells out because he's a salesman, and it's a big fight, and it's the only fight out there at the moment because everybody's parked up. But we've got a man here who's 42 this year fighting Daniel Dubois, who's not very engaging. He's a giant mute. You know what I mean?
yep, exactly. Um, you can tell. I mean, are they actually talking about it being at Wembley, or is it just noise off Chisora? Like, what are the promoters saying? I've not heard
Yeah.
anything. What are the promoters actually saying? Aside from the noise of Chisora, what are the promoters saying? Are they
They're
saying they're going
saying
to put it
nothing,
on?
are they? They're saying nothing. Bricktop's saying nothing. Hills
Or
is
they,
saying nothing. All we're hearing from is the Chisora cheerleaders at Talksport, juggiers and whatnot.
yeah. Well, there you go then. That should answer the question because Hills is an accountant, so he's just going to be thinking of the money. If they're not, well, it's not even Hills, is it? It's Frank, isn't it? But if they're not actively talking about it, then it won't be doable. Like it won't sell. It won't be. They won't be able to sell out Wembley because, they're always making noise about the things they can do or the things they believe they can do. They're always silent about the things when they might be bitten off a little bit more than they can chew. That's my opinion.
Uh, Okay, okay. Uh, I personally say it don't sell Wembley out, Dubois and Chisora. and it doesn't
No,
sell Tottenham. I don't even think it does the O2. I don't even think it does O2, to be honest, mate. That's my opinion.
no,
No, wait, might what's O2 20? Might squeak that way a good undercard.
yeah.
I think you're pissing in wind if you think Dubois and Chisora can do. You don't forget he's 42 this year and he's finished his
Hmm.
13 losses. I don't think that does Wembley. I think him and Fury and Chisora couldn't fill it out where they thought, could they really? They were giving them all away, weren't they? And
Of course
Fury's
they
a bigger
were.
seller than Dubois, isn't he?
Yep. And it was for the World Heavyweight Championship, wasn't it?
Yeah, well,
So,
this would be, wouldn't it? It'd be IBF, wouldn't it?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, what about Chisora against Usyk 2? Now, he's called him out as well. And if they do that one, they'd have to make Dubois against Parker, wouldn't they, if they did Chisora Usyk?
If you really do feel like you need to give him another title shot when he's completely undeserving, if I'm Derek Chisora's loved one or anyone sort of linked to Derek Chisora on a personal level, I prefer him to fight Usyk because it's less detrimental to his health. But does he deserve it? No, he doesn't. No, he does not. If you want your swan song, right? Personally, just from a fighting perspective, get him in there with Moses Talma, see what Moses Talma does to him, and then Moses Talma can move on. Because let's see if they're as vocal about Talma doing a job on him. Because Derek Chisora is this supposed legend now. But he's not a legend because of his fighting antics, is he? He's a legend because he's got a mouth on him. So yeah, I just no interest, Russ. Keep him away from Usyk. He doesn't deserve it.
Okay. What about Dubois Usyk 2? I mean,
No interest.
that noise has died down again now, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's no interest. The only way I would be interested in that fight is if Usyk actually come out and just said, "Yeah, I want the fight. I want the fight." I'm not interested in anything Daniel Dubois has got to say about getting revenge and all that. You got beat by a jab. You got stopped by a jab. You had 12 rounds to do what you needed to do, and you didn't. They made a big thing over a low blow. Um, but you had other rounds in the fight to get the job done, and you didn't. So I've no interest. You know what I mean? You've only got the belt because you were given it by email. You know. So if Usyk wants to fight, let the fight happen. If Usyk's not interested and he wants to move on and do something else, then it's Usyk's prerogative. He's the man, and until that situation changes, he'll continue to be the man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Uh, Dylan White's injured, right? He's out while October.
Yep.
Fabio Wardley looks like he's being parked up. He's a bogeyman. Anthony
Hmm.
Joshua's injured till September, they're saying, and Fury says he's definitely retired. Everybody knows he's fat as a pig at the moment. Only fight that's on that's at domestic level that looks any good is David Adelaide, Jamie TKV. I know Rhino and Fudd are going to have a rematch, but they're really like area level, aren't they?
Area level. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
area
they're at
level.
area level, but they've got social media followings, and the gimps that follow boxing at the moment buy into them, don't they? These
Mm.
area level ones. If they're, oh, he's a bit funny and a bit daft on Twitter, so they buy into that rubbish, don't they, really? And this is
Well,
why the
yeah.
sport's in a mess.
Well, that's what they were doing with Jamie TKB and Adelaide the other day. I didn't watch it because I don't want to. I just don't want to give in to that. Like they were slagging each other off on Talksport, weren't they? And when I looked, it had done like 24,000 views. So they're going to do anything they can to just beef it up a little bit because that's what sells now, isn't it? If Derek Chisora can get a world of weight title shot off his mouth, then everybody's going to follow his example, aren't they? So there'll be a little bit of warmed up mincemeat, wouldn't there? Because it's not proper beef; it's a load of shit.
Who's beef? What fight's that?
Well, Adelaide and TKV, they were on Talksport the other day, and I think
There were no fake beef there.
is it not?
I don't think there's any fake beef there. No, is it, man? I don't really see any fake. Well, what were Frotch and Groves? What were that?
Yeah,
Were that fake beef or what? We're hugging and kiss each other now, don't they? So I don't.
yeah,
Fake beef for me is like Dylan White and Joshua. Sorry, real beef. That's the real intense
real beef.
beef.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
saying fake beef. Yeah.
or Tony Bellew and Bricktop.
Cleverly and Bellew.
Not like Frotch and Groves, Frotch AMIR Khan. What's all that about? Oh, loving and kissing each other and all that. What's all that after everything that's gone on? I'm not into all that.
Well, like I say, I didn't watch the video with TKV and Adelaide. I just saw
Oh.
the thumbnail, but that's what they do, isn't it? They try and drag you in, but I refuse to watch it because not really that interested. So
I know. It's one of them, innit? Adelaide though, I like him. I've met him. I've spent a bit of time with him. He's actually a nice kid. He's a big old lump, but
yeah,
he's
you can
really
tell.
explosive. He's like a Twitch fighter. I think he's one of them that he'll have a short career, but all right. You know them like it's like a David A type style. They
Yeah,
don't tend to last long. Do they like Roy
yeah,
Jones? Well, Ali were like that, but he adapted, didn't
yeah. He did, he did. Adelaide. It's funny you should say that because when he first turned pro, that's what I was sort of considering him as in my mind. I thought he looks a bit tasty. You know what I mean? And then Wardley come along. Wardley to me was a similar sort of fighter, like quite loose. He can obviously punch, and one puncher beat the other one, didn't they? So there's no shame in that, I suppose.
he? Wardley lets his hands go though, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He does. He can be quite loose as well, can't he?
Yeah, he's all right. He's better than what people make him out to be. I like him. Plus, I
Yeah,
think he's a proper road man. He used to go have bare knucklers and just turn up on his own.
yeah. He's. I mean, look at his nose,
He
mate.
don't
You know
need a
what I mean?
fair play man, does he? Like all these on YouTube. I need my fair play man there.
No, no, I know. But that's the problem with modern boxing, though, isn't it?
Hmm.
Yeah, we've said before.
Okay. Parker's being swerved, people are saying, and Caballel. Do you think they're not getting the flowers?
Caballero's not, is he?
No.
But I think it's because Caballero's German. Really, he is
Yeah.
German, isn't he? So he's not going to be as entertaining to the media, is he? Whereas
Hmm.
Joseph Parker, you got to remember Gold Star and Spencer Brown, they're backing him, and they were flavour of the
Well, they're
month
not
for
doing
a
a
couple
very
of years.
good job, are they? Spencer Brown and Gold Star are backing Parker. They don't seem to be delivering for him, do they?
No, but they're gonna. I mean, again, the noise is being made, though, isn't it? Which is more noise than you get in for Caballero. People are still kissing Joseph Parker's ass a lot more than they are Caballero. So,
You mean
uh,
what? Beating a man 22 and a half stone? Or
yeah,
beating Zhang, a 40 odd year old 20 stoner? Is that where we're at now? You beat 20 odd stoners that are old men and you're a road man. Is that where we've
sadly, it is. Yeah, and I
well,
think
so we've got a
Caballero.
stinking A to beating men that are over 20 stone and old, and now he's a killer.
Apparently so.
So we're all supposed to buy into that way. He's improving at nearly 34. Is that what we're supposed to buy into? Well, I don't buy into that.
No, no.
And I
I'm,
know you do.
I'm
I
more,
know you're not stupid enough to, are you?
no, I don't buy into it
This
really.
is a
No,
man that's been beat by Dylan White, by the way.
I'm more of a fan of Caballero, and I've never made a secret of that. Like I think Caballero's a very good fighter. But he's not going to get his flowers because English isn't his first language, and it's a biased media in that respect, isn't it? Like Usyk, you've got to learn English, haven't you, to get anywhere, really. I mean, Canelo, obviously, being a Mexican fighter, um, and being the face of the sport, he's an exception. But I don't know, he blew up even more as soon as he started speaking English, and there was a few sentences, and he chucked a couple of F bombs. Everyone loved him then, didn't they? So maybe Caballero needs to be a bit controversial, and he'll jump the queue.
Is it over for Dylan White though? Four-time drug cheat. Now he's got an injury. 37-year-old. Uh,
Hopefully, hopefully.
yeah, let's
I
hope
mean,
he pisses off, eh?
yeah. Is he injured or is he taking another funny milk tea?
Well, this is how I look at it. These guys, these boxers at this level, they've always got a story, haven't they? You know, your Anthony Joshua's, your Dylan Whites, your Bacolas, your White Rhinos, Johnny
Hmm.
Fishers. There's all always bullshit behind any of the stories and lies and innuendo and everybody's playing moves and it's not checkers, it's chess and all this. Look, I'm seeing a lot of talking, but not a lot of fighting. Let's go on to part
No.
three, James.
Yeah, no problem, mate. All right.
You're on
See you in a
part
bit.
three. Go on, pop, pop, bang. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Booyaka. See you on part three.